Well, Sláinte, and how do you do, buckaroos? This was kind of an impromptu video. I wasn't sure if I was going to do one today or not, other than the live video I did with Scott Ellison earlier for my At the Pub series. That was awesome. He's going to be in town Saturday at Tie and Timber at 7. So if you get a chance, get out there. The man's freaking amazing. Always puts on a great show. I can't tell you how many times I've seen him over the years. Probably at least a dozen, but probably more. So I try to make some adjustments here. There we go. Let me set that down now. Anyways, I digress. How the heck are you? I decided to do something Irish here because I'm finishing off some products. Had some Five Farms from County Cork, Ireland. This is probably the best Irish cream there is, or that's available here in the States anyway. It's 17%. Picked it up back in August, though, so I figured we probably ought to finish it up. So here's what I did is I did about an ounce and a half of that with an ounce and a half of, where the hell did I put it? Yeah, what I do with that whiskey? I just had it here a second ago. There it is. With an ounce and a half of Jameson stout cask Irish whiskey. And then just a few dashes of some cocoa bitters. I don't know what to call this yet. It's almost like an Irish car bomb cocktail. Oh, there's no beer in it. I don't know. So I don't know what to call it anyway. But Sláinte. Oh, biscuits. That's delicious. I don't know what they want to call it, but I'm going to send them the recipe. I'm going to send that to Five Farms. I'm going to send that to Jameson. That's beautiful. I also poured me a beer to have at some point, even though it's not Irish. It's Martin City. This is their coffee stout. Let me show you that beer. They didn't want to do an Irish car bomb per se and chug, but then I also poured me. Yeah, I got three things working, man. Yeah. About an ounce and a half of some two stacks. Again, another one I picked up back in August. I got this much left. This is like, they had it on sale, which is one reason, or the main reason I bought it. But at that time, I'd never seen a cask Irish before. This one comes in at 130 proof, so it's rather large. 40% dark grain, 40% light grain, 8% pot still, 10% double malt, and 2% peated malt. This stuff is just gorgeous, man. As you can see, I've got some poured neat here. So I use the less proof whiskey in the cocktail. So let's start there, shall we? Let's Tom. Let's launch it. That Five Farms is just gorgeous Irish cream anyway. Toss that Jameson in there. And then just a few dashes of those cocoa bitters, and wow. I don't know what to call it, though. Help me out if you got a name for it. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. I can't think of it. I'm not good with clever names. The Irish cream and the whiskey and cocoa bitters, 3 ingredients. That all is. I guess if you wanted to toss a garnish in there, you could. But wow, that is just freaking delicious. That's just good, man. I don't care who you are. That's just tasty. With a capital tasty. Oh man. I suppose if I put it in a shot glass, I could drop it in the deal. That'd make it real close to an Irish car bomb, huh? Tom, you can't say that anymore. That's offensive. I don't know what else to call an Irish car bomb but an Irish car bomb, but because that's what it is. But it's offensive, Tom. Well, I don't. If you got another name, I'm more than willing to hear. It's always been an Irish car bomb to me, so I don't know what the hell else to call it. Hell, everything's offensive, I guess, to somebody. Like everybody needs to lighten the heck up. Quit getting offended by every damn thing. It's just a freaking drink, man. Why are we getting offended? I don't know, Tom. We just are. We just are. Maybe I'll drink this down enough to go Irish car bomb with it, and then we'll see. Car bomb would have Irish cream in the whiskey. The only thing I've added extra would be the cocoa bitters. And we have the shot glass that I usually use to do this. I've got one smaller shot glass. It's easier to drop in, but I didn't bring it with me. Well, no. Shall we try it? I don't like using this particular shot glass, but I mean, I don't want to chip it. I've had this thing for a while. I don't even know how long. Hell, at least a decade, probably more. Probably a decade and a half. This one's been around a minute or two. Spent a few years in storage and finally dug her out. Down to about half a glass of beer there in my Martin City glass. Let me show you before I do that. Let me show you the beer. From Martin City, it's called Love Coffee Stout. Brewed with KC Local All the Love Coffee. It's a 6% coffee stout. And as far as coffee stouts go, it is rather light on the coffee. Remember that it's a stout first. So while many coffee stouts become all about the coffee, you can still taste the stout in this one. So anyway, let's see if this is going to work, because you never know till you try, right? Damn, I got it before it curdled. Anyway, I digress. Oh, whoo doggies. I still got a little bit of my cocktail left there. Finish that up. Now all that's left, trying to adjust my camera slightly there though, is my 2-stack. So anyway, let me refresh your memory here and show you that bottle one more time. Really enjoyed this one. I picked it up at Whiskey Snug in Weston, Missouri. Really wanted to get back there, but it didn't happen. I wanted to buy more there, but I'd already bought so much stuff at other places, I really couldn't afford it. But again, like I said, this one was on sale, which is why I picked it up, because I was really thinking Irish whiskeys at that time. But man, it is a good product. Rather approachable at that 130. It really surprises me if somebody just handed me this whiskey and said, "Here, Tom, try this." Oh gosh, that's delicious. I would never guess it was a 130 proof or even cask, because I mean, as you can see there, I made no faces. Very easy to drink neat. Although at that 130 cask, if you want to drop a little bit of water in it, sure, I'm certainly not going to fault you for it. I don't know that I'd advocate drinking it on the rocks. I really think it's a neat whiskey, but again, at that proof, you can do whatever you want with it. You're not going to hurt it. Ah, man, that was delicious, man. Everything there was. Just decided I'd try to go through some stuff here. Hold on a second. Hey, no! Hey, no! Oh, mercy. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't get any on you. Yeah, I sneeze loud. Sometimes the neighbors. Damn, got another one. Oh, mercy. Once I get started, sometimes I always think there's something in this corner. Every time I get over here, I get the sneezies. Oh, dang. Oh, mercy. So it's off today, but I do go back to work tomorrow. I don't go in until 3:30. So, well, I can have a little bit to drink today. Not going to go crazy, but going to have a little bit. Oh. She had a biscuit. Anyways. I work Thursday and Friday, and then I happen to be off this weekend. I think I'm working the following couple, but or Saturdays anyway. Oh, but I made sure I had this weekend off because, damn, legendary blues, Tulsa blues artist Scott Ellison is in town in Springfield, Missouri this weekend. He's playing Tie and Timbers. Very interesting place for him to play. Not where I expected him to play, but I think it'll be good. It'll give him a different audience. Blues clubs. I love blues clubs. I do. But they attract the same people over and over again because you know where you're going. Some people just aren't going to go to a club. But this is at a brewery. So I think some people are going to be there accidentally and look into one of the best artists they've ever seen, one of the best guitar players they've ever seen, one of the best songwriters they've ever seen, and one of the great blues voices as well. I mean, Scott Ellison is just freaking awesome. He's just a nice guy, though, too. I've known him. I won't say we're friends. We haven't, it's not like we hang out together. But I mean, I've been going to his shows for at least a couple decades. Yeah, I just did a show with him. He said he's just about to turn 70. I'm just about to turn 59. So we've known each other since, you know, I was in my early 30s and he was in his early 40s. So your definition of old changes as you get older, right? There was a time I thought 70 was old. There was a time I thought 59 was old. I don't think either is old at this particular moment in time. And then for somebody, I mean, he's still out touring a bunch of dates, man. It's pretty amazing that he's still doing the thing. That was really good, man. Man, I'm a genius. I'm a certified genius. Oh, this cocoa, my wife actually found these for me. Angostura cocoa bitters. A distinctive expression, expertly crafted with fine Trinitario cocoa nibs. All right, well, I can dig it. I can dig. Can you dig it? Anyway, if you've seen the Warriors, you know what I'm talking about. Can you dig it? Anyways, it's a classic, man. You got to see it at least once. A lot of older movies don't hold up over, especially stuff that was done in the late 70s, early 80s. I feel a lot of 80s films in particular don't really hold up because they have too much of an 80s feel. It just doesn't hold up over time for one reason or another. But the Warriors really, I feel, is timeless, even though the gangs of then are different than now. I think the message still resonates. I remember the film was extremely controversial at the time. I do, over the fear that gangs actually might try to do what they tried to do in that film, which was unite. You know, if the gangs united, if they became one army instead of several small ones, what could they have done? And you can even use that same logic to the Native Americans. I mean, if all those tribes could have found a way to unite, it'd have been a lot different. Things would have ended a lot different if they could have united. Instead, we fought basically one tribe at a time. We wasn't me. Hey, I had nothing to do with it. White people in general. But yeah, we fought one at a time and took over one territory at a time. If they'd all found a way to get along and become one coherent army, if you will, things would have ended much different. And quite frankly, I think we'd probably all be better off with the Native American way of life than the way we're doing things currently. I love how we've got the people now that don't want anything to do with immigrants. I don't want any more immigrants in this country. We're product of immigrants. Unless your ancestry is Native American, your ancestry came from somewhere else, man. I don't know how some of these people can't figure that out, but they act like, oh, we were meant to be here. We're Native Americans. No, you're not, you Anglo son of a. You can't really be that stupid, can you? But some of these people really can. Uh, what if your ancestors were kicked out? Well, the truth is, we'd be better off if some of their ancestors were kicked out because they're just assholes. If we just would have sent all the assholes back, we should just. Anyway, no, I'm not going to go that far. Okay, stop, Tom. Stop, Tom, before you dig in too much. You're about to say something. Anyways, I digress. Gosh, this was nice. Oh, wow. I didn't expect to go this way, actually. Like I said, this was an impromptu video. I set up the video before I realized what products I was going to sample or drink with you. Then I said, oh, I got this. I got this. I'm going to make this cocktail. And I got the cocoa bitters. And the Irish car bomb was really spur of the moment. I had no plan to do that at all, but it just seemed like a good idea. And then I'm just finishing the two stacks with you. Anyways, I digress. I do amuse myself. I amuse myself. Anyway, not the way y'all think. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, my new work schedule is very interesting. So I'm really enjoying it. I did though. I work a few Saturdays a month, or usually at least a couple. I needed this one off because I really Scott Ellison hasn't been to town in quite some time, so I did ask specifically for this Saturday off because I really wanted to be there for that show my support. Like I said, I've been seeing this guy for well over 2 decades now. He's just amazing. And it'll be different. I'm kind of curious who's going to show up there at Tie and Timber because it is a different type of artist than they typically get out there. But a lot of folks that live in that neighborhood or go to Tie and Timber show up to see who's ever there. So that's what I'm kind of excited about, that he might get a whole new audience, and people might find an artist that they weren't aware of. Like I said, the man's just a blues legend. He's been a national touring artist for, like I said, well over 2 decades, probably closer to three. I mean, he tours across the country, man. And he has a lot of more traditional blues, especially his last album, 0 to 60, where he said he kind of stripped it down where it could be done as a three piece. But a lot of the stuff hovers, right? You can certainly hear some Chicago blues. Some of it veers more towards blues rock, but you can hear a lot of different influences in there depending on what album you're listening to. I'm a big fan of his older stuff, as I've said in the past. Cold Hard Cash was, well, actually, the first album I bought from him was Steam, and the second was Cold Hard Cash. But um, his last three albums, 0 to 60, Breathe Underwater, and can't remember the third one now. I just had it up here. Were just all so freaking amazing. Let me look it up real quick while I've got you. Oh, there's something about the night. Yeah, he'd been pumping them out. Skyline Drive, Skyline Drive. There's something about the night, and then the latest. But then there's a fourth one I should have added and I didn't, which was Don't Push Your Luck, from 2011. But they did the album 22, 20 was Skyline Drive, 22 is something about the night. 0 to 60 is 23. I think he said he was putting together a greatest hits album for this year, so he can slow down and not push the writing so hard. Um, but the truth is, he's just an amazing writer. He really is. He always has been. And a lot of his stuff kind of pushes the envelope. Not everything is recorded to play live. Or one of my favorite songs of his really wasn't one of his live show hits, but the song is just genius from Cold Hard Cash called "She Works for Me." That album, that particular song, was just brilliant. It is lyrical genius, man. What he came up with for that one. Anyways, I'm a guy that really concentrates on the lyrics as a wannabe lyricist way back when I read lyrics like this. Oh man, how'd you come up with that? That is absolutely brilliant. Another one of the more poignant songs is "Breathe Underwater." Again, I think it's lyrical genius. Anyways, anyways. I'm sound like Eli Wallach from the Holiday. Anyways, say it fast. Anyways, the fact that Eli did not get an Oscar nod for that film is a travesty. Eli Wallach was a freaking national treasure, man. He should have got a. He was brilliant in the movie The Holiday. He should have got an Oscar nod. You know, sometimes our great treasures get overlooked. Bruce Dern has been overlooked more than once. Richard Farnsworth, a lot of great artists, great actors, kind of been overlooked over the years. Sometimes those awards, shows, programs become more of a popularity contest. Sometimes it's like, okay, so this guy, they're trying to make a point rather than just give the award to the person that really deserves it. But then again, having said that, even though I don't agree with a lot of the choices, it is. I mean, it is a matter of opinion, right? Who did what greatest? I know there was some controversy this past Oscar season with Jamie Lee Curtis getting the Oscar over Angela Bassett. The truth is, they both probably deserved it. They say, well, she didn't deserve it. It should have went to this person. The truth is that I'm guessing they both probably deserved it. But you can't give it to both artists. Well, Jamie Lee got the nod because of nepotism. Well, I think we're past that, aren't we? I mean, if she was going to get an award for nepotism, it would have happened about 30 or 40 years ago. I don't buy into that whole nepotism thing as much as some do, and I'll tell you why. Patrick Wayne never won an Oscar. Patrick Wayne didn't become uh, a big star, even though he was the son of one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Why? Because he wasn't a great actor. He got into the films because his dad put him there. So that could be your argument for nepotism. But your argument that sons, daughters, friends, family of famous stars always get the awards first. Well, that just doesn't hold up. That whole argument is just ignorant as hell. And if you choose to argue with me, all I'm going to say is Patrick Wayne. That's all I'm going to drop. It's Patrick Wayne. And I'm going to walk away because that's a mic drop right there. Artists, they only got that because their mommy or daddy was somebody famous. Patrick Wayne, mic drop. That's all I've got to say. Yes, Tony Curtis, Janet Leigh were the parents of Jamie Lee Curtis, but that's not what made her a star. She made her a star. A lot of famous people's kids don't become stars. It's not she maybe she did get her first gig because of nepotism. I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care because if she did, well, great, because she's obviously a talented actress. She's been that since the very beginning. She's only gotten better over time. So whether I mean, I'd have been okay if Angela Bassett got the award, but I'm certainly not begrudging Jamie Lee Curtis the award because she happens to have famous parents. Although both of them had very nice careers, and they did, neither one of them were the biggest stars in Hollywood. So if you're going to come out with Jamie Lee only got the nod because all I'm going to say is Patrick Wade, drop the mic and walk away because your argument does not hold water. Anyway, I digress. I never know what I'm going to talk about next. I'm just winging this thing. If we're just spitballing here, it's not all going to be gold. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom, the beer whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and I'm also Tom, the whiskey whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all right, good guys. Lotcha. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all.